Land. They're only 5 points above 18th place Torino, though. Parma have a local derby with Sassuolo today, while the bottom club Crotone plays Benevento. Well, we're looking forward to this Sunday lunchtime kickoff in Naples as Napoli hosts Fiorentina. We're waiting for the officials to come out, and Tony Dorigo alongside me. Almost a year to the day since Fiorentina took all 3 points from this fixture last season with a 2-0 win, but it looks a big ask for them this season, given the away form that we've seen from them so far.
Yes, it's been a real struggle, hasn't it, for Fiorentina this season? Prandelli has come back to try and improve the fortunes of this side. He went to a front back four. He quickly changed that as well, back to a back three. And they are improving, and that there's no doubt, but some of their form has been patchy until, of course, they went away to Juventus. And that 3-0 win just before Christmas was unexpected, to say the least. And since then, they picked up the odd point or two. And, of course, they won last time out. So they are improving. They're getting away from the bottom, but still plenty to do.
Yeah, consistency's been a real issue for them, hasn't it?
Yes, I think it's important, of course, when Ribery is on the pitch that he makes everyone else play. How to get the best out of Castrovilli, that's another problem. At least he's back today. But the emergence of Vlahovic up top, I think that's really important. Scoring goals, 6 to his name so far, 4 in his last 5, so he's playing well.
Well, Cesare Prandelli has gone with a very attacking setup here. He's certainly not sitting back and looking to eke out a point from this match. We'll get more on that in just a moment as we see the officials coming out. Daniele Chiffi is the referee for today's game. It's his 7th Serie A match of the season. He was in the middle for the Juventus-Genoa game in the Coppa Italia round of 16 during the week. I know you were watching that one, Tony, so long night for the referee in the end, as well as everyone else.
Yes, it certainly was a long night. Unexpected as well, because Juventus were in complete control of it. And then, of course, Genoa came back and made a decent game of it. But yeah, certainly this Fiorentina side, you talk about formation and how they're lining up. Well, they are not going with a midfield 5, which is quite their normal way to go. This time instead it's a 4, and they're pushing an extra man up top. So just like last time out, Callejon will be there behind Vlahovic and along with Ribery, which I do think those two there in pitch are so important.
There's Franck Ribery bringing up the rear as he heads out onto the pitch. Ribery back in the team today, having missed the last couple of matches with a knee injury. Cesare Prandelli there, who's been back in charge at Fiorentina since November, having previously had a very successful spell a few years ago. As the players from Napoli take to the field, they've not been firing on all cylinders in their last couple of home games, held to a 1-1 draw by struggling Torino and losing 2-1 to Spezia, but Tony, they've had some very big home successes as well.
Yes, and certainly some of the away performances have been really impressive. 4-1 away to Cagliari, so you look at the side at times, they look absolutely scintillating. So
ผมมีประตูกินแล้วมาเผื่อหาง
It's a season that still offers much for Napoli, just outside the top 4, quarter-finalists in the Coppa Italia, still in the Europa League as well. The Supercoppa coming up on Wednesday against Juventus. Napoli without Fabian Ruiz today, who tested positive for coronavirus yesterday, and Giovanni Di Lorenzo, who serves a one-match ban. So Fabio Rui plays at fullback, and Diego Dema comes into the midfield. Kalidou Koulibaly returned from injury in Wednesday's Coppa Italia win. He plays in the league for the first time since before Christmas. Costas Manolas missed that game, but he is fit to start today. Lorenzo Insigne there, the captain of Napoli, on the left-hand side. He had a direct hand in 4 goals against Fiorentina, 2 goals and 2 assists last season in a big 4-3 victory. Fiorentina have a fully fit squad and bring Franck Ribéry back in on the left of a front three with Dusan Vlahovic and Jose Callejon, who returns to face his old club for the first time. Gaetano Castrovilli returns from suspension in midfield. There's a start too for Lorenzo Venuti on the right. Giacomo Bonaventura, Eric Pulgar and Martin Cáceres all drop down to the bench. So almost ready to go in the rain in Naples. Prandelli wrapped up against the elements. Final few moments before the kick-off. Well, there's Callejon. 7 seasons he had with Napoli, 7 excellent seasons, 349 appearances for them before leaving last summer. 82 goals in that spell, and Gattuso there patrolling his technical area, hoping that his side can get on to 34 points and maybe into the top 4 of the Serie A table by the end of the day. Final few checks from the referee. Fiorentina will get us underway shortly. Sharp blow on the whistle from referee Daniele Chifi from Padova, and the first of the Sunday fixtures in this 18th round of Serie A underway at the Diego Armando Maradona Stadium in Naples. And it's Fiorentina who've taken just 5 points from their 8 away matches so far this season, who get things underway. All in red in their change strip today, as the ball is played wide by Pezzella and collected in midfield, and Insigne tries to hustle and bustle his way down the left-hand touchline. Such a busy player and talismanic figure for Napoli.
Yes, he certainly is when he plays well. No doubt Napoli play well, but you're right, Fiorentina's away form, only 5 points, is very poor, only the 1 win. However, it did come at the champions Juventus, so anything can happen with the side.
That victory last weekend against Cagliari was only the 4th that Fiorentina have enjoyed all season, but as we mentioned in the build-up, they've gone with an attacking line-up here, and they're on the front foot here with Castrovilli back in the team. He served a suspension for yellow cards last weekend, and the header goes just wide of the goal. Vlahovic in the middle there, but already a positive start from the visiting side.
Good play, Castrovilli from midfield just gets forward. That was a foul, but Castrovilli does well to get up and continue. When the ball comes in, Vlahovic gets there first in front of Koulibaly. Young striker really is in good form. 4 goals in 5 games, almost on target there.
Yeah, and he was on target in this fixture last season. A 2-0 win for Fiorentina. It was on the 18th of January last year, so almost a year ago to the day. Napoli just looking to pick up their home form, 1 point from the last 2 on their own ground. I was going to say in front of their own fans, but of course that's not the case at the moment.
That form is bad enough, but of course the teams that got those points against, was my old boys Torino, who aren't in good form at all, and then Spezia went and beat them. So very strange from Gattuso's men.
Yeah, really are struggling, aren't they? Your old team up against 10 men for the most part yesterday, and still held to just a draw by Spezia. A long week for Fiorentina. Went to extra time at home to Inter in the Coppa Italia, the Artemio Franchi, but lost very late in extra time. Goal from Romelu Lukaku, 2-1. Inter emerging victorious in that game. Ospina back in goal for Napoli today. To get rid of that one, sharpish.
Amrabat in there very quickly, wasn't he? Gets through a lot of work in that midfield for Fiorentina.
This is Milenkovic. And away over on the far side, Venuti. Mentioned that Koulibaly fit again this week, played against Empoli on Wednesday. This is his first league appearance since just before Christmas. Here he is in possession there briefly, but Dries Mertens, another one coming back from injury. He's had an ankle problem, missed the last 5 in the league, but he is on the bench again today, still awaiting his first appearance in the last few weeks. Zielinski Just got caught there on the ankle. It was Nikola Milenkovic with the challenge.
I think the problem with that is, as Zielinski's gone to put his foot down, he just twisted it as well. Looks to be in a bit of pain, but really good play initially from Bakayoko. And then the straight ball found Zielinski. Napoli were on the counter-attack.
He's not the most relaxed figure on the touchline, is he, Gennaro Gattuso?
I'd love to get a heart rate monitor on him. He must.
We're only 4 minutes in here. Nothing's happened yet, really. Ball played in by Dema. 7th start of the league campaign for him now. This is Irving Lozano rolling that one in. And Insigne guides it home, and Napoli have the early lead inside the opening 5 minutes of the game. Beautifully placed, Napoli 1, Fiorentina 0.
But a really well-worked goal. He's still not happy either, but he should be. As his side really have carved open Fiorentina at the back. Really good play, and Insigne, calm as you like, rolls it in. Good hold-up play as well from Petagna. Lozano gets the ball, drives Biraghi back into the box, and Petagna just lays it off. First touch wasn't great. Second touch, he found his teammate. And when it comes to Insigne, he spots the gap. Beautiful placement, good goal.
Yeah, it was a good enough touch from Petagna, wasn't it, to set up Insigne, who was involved in the move right at the start. And a really well-worked goal there for Napoli, which gives them the perfect platform for the rest of the match. So Fiorentina, work to do already. There'll be a free kick for a foul there by Lozano on Cristiano Biraghi.
Both sides obviously working very hard to make sure they get back and defend. It's just the foot coming through. Here's the goal. You can see Petagna's first touch was a strange one, but the second one was brilliant. And rather than slash at the ball, he calmly tucks it away.
Petagna, of course, was the hero during the week, scoring the winning goal against Empoli in the Coppa Italia round of 16. Cleared away by Manolas. He was getting an earful from his coach a couple of minutes ago. Hopeful from Zielinski there. And Lozano acknowledging the effort of the pass. Collected now by Castrovilli. Here's Amrabat. Attempted pass towards Callejon. Not a happy return to his former stomping ground so far. A big day for him, actually. He had a really good time at Napoli, didn't he, Callejon? Just last season.
Well, I think he was instrumental, wasn't he, in that attack that Napoli had across the city on the other side as well. So important to how Napoli play those late runs into the box. Got himself and others plenty of goals. So, yeah, emotional for him to come back, for sure.
Ball at the back with Herman Petzela. Drongowski going long but comfortably dealt with by Manolas, and the pass there from Bakayoko. Bakayoko, who was on loan from Chelsea, scored the winning goal last week. Udinese, his first goal for Napoli. Here he is now.
An important one as well. Very late on, a header. And I must admit, at Milan I thought he was very good, and here Napoli is certainly playing well.
Beautifully taken by Lozano. More pressure now. Rather misguided, and Lorenzo Insigne just a little behind the play. Safely seen out by Venuti over on the far side. Insigne then, who scored a couple of goals against Fiorentina last season, on target very early in this match today. Seller away to the far side. A bit high for Vlahovic. This is Koulibaly. Set aside, getting forward. Lozano. With 2 wins inside the last week, that victory at Udinese and the Wednesday Coppa Italia success against Empoli. Big week ahead as well with the Super Coppa against Juventus, and they're making a big start to this one as Lozano bursts into the box. Still going, lovely little flick back which almost set up Petagna. Fine piece of improvisation by Lozano at the last moment there, which almost paid off.
Excellent play, wasn't it? The run into the channel by Lozano, and Petzela actually did well just to try and keep him away from goal, but certainly Napoli finding their way behind this Fiorentina defence rather easily.
And Napoli affected by the latest round of COVID-19 tests yesterday. Fabian Ruiz testing positive, their Spanish international midfielder. He's self-isolating now. The players have had further swabs, and the results of which have come through first thing this morning, so the match able to go ahead. Everybody else negative. Here's Lozano. Aside, the Albanian international, held up by Igor. Nicely done, finding Ribery. Ganuti under pressure from Insigne has continued his run further forward. As Callejon sweeps it to the near side, and Biraghi had that loan spell with Inter last season. Now with Castrovilli, accusingly at the playing surface. It was an untimely slip there, which rather misplaced his pass.
Well, Fiorentina can't quite get their passing going. Some of the service up to Vlahovic has been too high. Of course, they need to get it into the feet, the likes of Callejon and Ribery, to make things happen.
It's been a backing goal for Napoli today. It's a bit of a revolving door, isn't it, this season between him and Alex Meret?
Yes, and it's strange as well, because keepers normally just stay. They might swap for the cup, but here they do things a little differently.
Amrabat stayed on the ground. The referee allowing the game to go on. This is Ribery testing her side, whipping that one in. Manolas able to make the block.
Excellent play. He still got it into his 30s. Thought for the life he was going to actually lay it back to his fullback. Instead, he just whips it in. Yeah, from Ribery.
เล่นแรงเลยสมาร์ทมาก
Years of age. He's played in the vast majority of the matches this season. 14th start in the league already, but did miss the last couple with the problem.
รายเดือนเบอร์วันที่17
How many times have we had to say that in recent years? He's had his fair share of injury issues from Ribery, cleared away by Koulibaly, collected by Bakayoko. Strides surging forward there was Dema, but back with Fiorentina once more. If you've just joined our coverage, a little late, Lorenzo Insigne scoring for Napoli in the 5th minute. There'll be a free kick there for a foul by Kostas Manolas on Dusan Vlahovic.
Really need to make that sort of challenge. Vlahovic is going absolutely nowhere. Manolas is nice and close with him, just getting to lay it off. Instead, he's given a free kick away. Now Biraghi over the ball. What Fiorentina have got is big defenders coming up. Petzela, Milenkovic,
Manolas knows he's got to keep close tabs on the number 9 there. Vlahovic has scored a goal in 5 of the last 6 matches in the league, but perhaps didn't need to watch him quite so closely there as he was running away from the penalty area. Biraghi. It's easy for Ospina.
Now that's frustrating. I think the centre-halves will have something to say to Biraghi, because the first opportunity you get, at least make sure it's a decent delivery in there. Instead, easy for the keeper.
This side to Demo, who's made a busy start to the game. He's rather lucky to almost get the ball back there. Bakayoko faced by Sofyan Amrabat. First arrived in Bentley a few years ago, following on
ว่าเบิ่งตรงกระจกก็ได้เลย
his coach time, Maurizio Sarri. Koulibaly. Slight hesitation there before Insigne thought that it might be on. And the header out from Milenkovic. Fiorentina haven't got started at all so far, have they?
No, they can't get hold of the ball. They can't certainly string 7-8 passes together, get their team up the pitch. And when they do try, it's more long and hopeful. They give it straight back to Napoli. Just looking at Amrabat here, he's got to get caught in the face. Might have to get some sort of treatment.
Stoppage here, a bit of tidying up required for Amrabat. So, as you can see, a bloodied nose, the Moroccan international. Well, bright start for Napoli and a very well-worked goal indeed.
Really was. Lozano on the right, just tries into that box. The ball Played to Britannia, lays it off to that man there. Calmly as you like, slots away. This is what's happened too often for me. Fiorentina getting caught flat at the back,
ต้นฟังรู้
getting
ยัง
in behind, and
ภาษาอิตา
Lozano
ลี
well matched there by Petzela.
คล้ายๆอยู่
That was a lovely idea at the end, though, wasn't it?
อะไรกันแล้วะเนี่ย
All other options seem to be closed to try
มัน
and
คือ
just
ส
pick
กอร์
it
มัน
in
ขึ้นอ
towards
ย่าง
Andrea
นาโป
Petagna.
ลีกับทีมเลยมันรู้ได้นาโปลี
นาโปลีสีน้ำเงินเนี่ย
ซึ่งยังไม่ต้นอ่านเลยนะภาษาอังกฤษ
Well, Prandelli's team are momentarily going to be down to 10 while they sort out Amrabat's nose.
ไอโอ
โปรโคล่าโง่เนาะ
Once they've plugged that, he'll be back in the game, hopefully shortly.
ที่มันเด็กๆออก
One forward towards Lozano here. Napoli very much on the front foot in the early stages of this one. Maybe pushed it a little too far, and the ball just bouncing behind. Off Igor, the Brazilian defender.
He takes him on, but Igor nice and strong, pushing the ground. But I think the last touch does just come off the defender. Yeah, just trying to find out where fortunate Amrabat gets his whack in the face, and there it is.
That's a beard and a half, isn't it?
Yes. I think he might be living in there.
ตรงญี่ปุ่นมันวิ่งอย่างยากเลยจริง
ขึ้นอ่ะ
มันวิ่งไม่
Agowski,
ไกล
the Polish international goalkeeper. He's been a good form lately, actually. Clean sheet in 3 of the last 4 before
คือโดน
today.
ขวดตักออก
Under pressure once more. He's committed to getting to the ball this time. And Insigne sends a bobbler
เนี่ยมัน
past
วิ่
the
งแข็ง
post.
นะ
No, Dragowski's been very good indeed for Fiorentina. Some of the games he's been absolutely outstanding. He's needed to be. Had plenty to do this season.
No chance of Gattuso's comments being drowned out by the crowd at the moment for his,
No,
for his
it's
players.
always pretty clear what he means. His players, yeah, are in no doubt.
Here's Petzela for Fiorentina. Forward by Nikola Milenkovic to Venuti.
หน้าตายั
It's
ง
a
ดี
bit
อยู่
more like it.
ทำ
Vlahovic.
เนาะ
Ribery in the centre. Collision there between Ospina and Kostas Manolas.
Both have gone down. That was the first time that Fiorentina managed to work the ball
เดี๋ยว
to
ๆสั่งเลยเราเยอะ
Vlavic's feet. Ribery took the wise decision to keep out the way of that sandwich, but
It was actually quite a hefty collision between the pair of them, wasn't it?
actually both looking and going for the ball. I'm sure they both shouted,
เพราะ
but both in a bit of trouble.
Spina there clearly with a little bit of an issue with his right shoulder. He didn't play in either of the matches earlier in the week. Physio's being kept busy at the moment.
โอ้ยโคล่าขอบคุณนะ
Nikola Maximovic, Serbian international central defender, among the substitutes today. Player to make.
เดี๋ยวบนเลยนะ
Spina doesn't look great, does he, at the moment? It must be said.
Okay.
No, he's not moving at all. Of course, they're just taking every precaution, as they should do. I'm sure everything is okay, but
It's been a pretty even distribution actually between the two goalkeepers. They play a
นี่เขาโพ
couple,
สต์
then
เพื่อน
sit
เป็น
on
แก้
the
ม
bench
เลย
for
เนาะ
a
โอ้
while, come in for one, and then another couple out.
เอาฝากกับเพื่อนรอหน้า
Well, Spina
ฝาก
now
เพื่อนขอพ่อ
starting for the 10th time in the league, and Meret has started 7 games, but he's been playing really well this season as well. So they won't be too perturbed if they did need to make a change, because Meret is certainly very much up to speed.
you're right. Yeah, and both really could be the number ones.
Yes.
Normally, the manager sticks with one or the other, but it is strange to go in and out, certainly for defenders as well. You always like to know exactly what your keeper's doing. Maybe they play very similar in the decision making, and they know that, but clearly both are doing very well.
Hopefully, Spina's going to be absolutely fine. Just a ponder for Prandelli so far.
สัญญาณลบออกเลย
Lunchtime in Naples, certainly for Fiorentina fans at the moment. The way to go, of course, is Bakayoko, touch Zielinski into Dema.
อันนั้นคนเราสอนสูตร
Nice little flick. Lozano on. Britannia having a good physical battle there with Milenkovic.
Well, Britannia, you can see the size of him. He's quick. He holds the ball up well, but I do like the look of Milenkovic as well. Good young defender. I know a lot of big clubs are looking at him. That will be a battle all day long.
เพิ่งรู้ว่าเป็นคนอีสาน
Yeah,
เลย
Britannia, 4 goals,
เพิ่งเป็นคนภาคกลาง
15 appearances in the league so
แถว
far this season, 5
ยุ
in
ทธยา
total.
แถวที่เขาเล่นลิเกกันอะ
Fiorentina trailing here to the early goal from Napoli's captain, Lorenzo Insigne, 5th minute of the game. Tanya claiming a handball against Igor. Done well to get a decision off the referee on that one. Here's Milenkovic once more. 20 minutes in, yet to really trouble Ospina in the Napoli goal. He's had the biggest problem he's had was the collision with his own defender Manolas a couple of minutes ago. Biraki. Free kick conceded there by Elsa Versailles, and Franck Ribéry keen to get on with things.
เราไม่เคยฟังเนี่ยแต่ก็รู้อยู่นะ
Benuti into Amrabat. Callejon flitting around on the periphery of the match so far on his return to Naples. Petzela sending it forward. Mario Rui was there for Napoli.
Fiorentina just finding it hard, aren't they, to get out, get through midfield with the ball and try and support their strikers. Napoli doing well, closing them down quickly, winning the ball back.
The combative figure of Amrabat conceding that free kick. It's a long chase for Britannia. To Igor, closed down by Lozano. Not a very convincing piece of distribution from him, and Lozano sent it across into the box. Igor makes the block, and the flag goes up.
Lozano really should not be offside there because he's the wide man. He's looking across the line as well. Just got to keep yourself onside. Yes, it's very close, but he could have been a foot further back. Still would have been in.
Milenkovic almost played him on, didn't he? On the edge of the penalty area there, but as you say, not quite. Petzela spraying it out wide. Benuti, nicely done, and miscue there from Jose Callejon. It's Mario Rui today. Players coming into the Napoli side. The Portuguese fullback came on at half-time last weekend. It's the start today. Cristiano Biraki.
แป้งน้ำอะไรก็ต้องน้ำเคยเด็กอะแล้วก็
Petzela looking to get things moving.
น้ำอะไรนะก็ต้องน้ำแต่ว่า
Decent ball forward as well. And here's Biraki. And the deflection off the defender there against the crossbar. It's a lucky escape for Napoli.
เอาเล่นน้อยหมดแล้วไม่พอ
Almost an unlikely goal there for Fiorentina.
Absolutely, wasn't it? Demme was the player that it came off. Good play from Fiorentina down that right-hand side initially.
Here's Ribéry now.
คนเนาะ
First chance to really run at the defence and just lost his way on the edge of the penalty area. Ball just flicking up off Dema, almost looping into the back of the net. Insigne.
น้ำจริงเหรอ
Napoli just looking to steady things down again after that little flurry from Fiorentina midway through the first half. Zielinski by Petzela. And with Husai, he's got a little bit of space here as well. Lozano on the near side, Petagna made the run and now needs to check back. Husai well forward. Here's Lozano. Koulibaly. Zielinski. Into Petagna. And as the play progressed, the flag went up here. And this is why.
Good defending. Igor just steps in front as well rather than go with Petagna. Allows him just to run offside. Your defenders have to be aware. Certainly Baraghi has got to keep in front of his centre halves.
Callejon into Sofian Amrabat. Petzela with Milenkovic. Callejon trying to get on the ball a little bit more as the first half wears on. Here's Ribéry roaming around from one side to the other and fouled by Kalidou Koulibaly.
Clever play, wasn't it, from Ribéry? Great bit of skill on the far side, and then when he knocks it to go after it, Koulibaly does get a little touch, but it's a lot more of Ribéry.
เปลี่ยนมือเหรอ
He's still one of those players that's really worth watching, isn't he, Ribéry? In the later stages of his career now.
He's a wonderful talent, he really is. You think the age of him as well. He could easily have got so much more money going to play in China or America or wherever it is. Instead, he's come to a project in Fiorentina. It's a lot more difficult, but we're seeing him play at the top level, which is what we certainly want.
What can Fiorentina do here? As it's whipped in beyond everybody. Wasted. This is the second time that's happened with the set play.
Because it actually worked. That was why the delay was all part of the routine, and Petzela was free at the far post. Here's the earlier crazy ricochet that Napoli were delighted to see hit the bar and come out. It was Baraghi with the shot.
And the attack again
ใส่
here,
หลาย
and
เลย
Ribéry
โอ้โห
brings the
จบ
best out of
ใส่อย่างห
Ospina.
ลายเลย
That's the best we've seen from Fiorentina so far in this first half.
Fantastic save. Ospina down to his right. That was going in like a rocket. Ribéry on to the ball, quick as a flash.
เปิดแล้ว
Vlahovic,
พี่กดเปิดแล้ว
he shoots, it comes to Ribéry. And that's tremendous. Ospina, brilliant save.
And Diego Demo was lucky to get away with that there.
พี่รอพี่กด
Little sorting out for the referee to do, I think.
So Ospina hurt himself, or feeling the injury that he received
Well, it was
earlier.
on that right-hand side, wasn't it? It was his shoulder that was troubling him after the collision with Manolas, and I think he may have a similar issue now after having made an excellent save there, low down to his right. Clearly looks troubled.
He does. With that injury, he still managed to make the save. Demba gets in all sorts of bother there, doesn't he? The ricochet comes out where he thought it must have been in, hard and low into the corner, but somehow Spinner digs it out.
Manolas there, as he tried to make a challenge on Ribéry, just slipped, which stopped him from being able to do that. Well, Spinner's going to carry on at the moment. Cristiano Biraghi will take the corner.
พูดไปเลยมา
Now that referee Keith is happy that we can continue.
พูดไปเลยมา
Queuing to head that one away.
Cái thằng mới là-
Sends it back in. Vlahovic. No, says the referee. No penalty for the challenge there. Never gets it away.
Vlahovic looked like he was offside, yet all the Napoli players came out, and Demba was on the close, a bit slow coming out. The challenge was fine.
woken up.
At last, it's taken them a while. They're a goal down as well, and can't really afford to do that, but at least they're now getting the ball to those dangerous areas.
Pass out wide by Gaetano Castrovili. Ball into Callejon, blocked by Koulibaly. And Insigne with the chance to bring it away. Tidy good pass into Rui. To the throw.
It's a shame there. Callejon didn't actually just look up. Instead, he put it into an area. No Fiorentina player, but at the back post, Ribery was coming in.
Igor. Well, that wasn't the time or the place to slip up with Irving Lozano there, but he's been bailed out by Castrovili. Ribery challenged. Igor once more. Amrabat. Still Insigne's goal in the 5th minute of the game, separating the two sides. Space and time back in possession. Petzela.
วันนี้กูต้องลงคลิป
You can see Fiorentina are keeping the ball. Saw that moment there, but with 3 centre halves, what they have to do is get one centre half to commit someone in midfield instead. 3 centre halves are staying back. Amrabat's having to come deep. Ribery's coming deep, which means there's precious little players to try and hit when they go forward. Here we see the challenge from Dema. Blajevic just turns and goes down on his own. No problem.
Yeah, referee was absolutely spot on with that one.
And this is very fortunate. Koulibaly might get a little touch on the ball as well, but almost in.
Last quarter of an hour of the first half. Oh, there's a bit of space here now for Insigne. Support on the far side from Mario Rui as well. 3 teammates inside the penalty area, waiting for a ball which isn't about to arrive. And now suddenly Napoli forced to backpedal. Here's Callejon into Ribery. Vlahovic is up with him. Ribery's still going here. Support from Biragi, and it's just wide.
Good move, really good move. He couldn't quite hit the target. Just the shape on the shot meant the ball was always going to go slightly away from goal, but Ribery, I thought it was a heavy touch, and instead he gets it out of his feet to Biragi. Hard and low across. Just got to make the keeper at least make a save. Vlahovic was there for anything that came out, but it was neither.
He's the driving force, isn't he, for them? He's the player that is making things happen.
Well, he can. He's got so much ability. He hasn't got the legs of old, but he certainly has got the brain. Of course, the first yard is in his head, so they can get him the ball in those dangerous areas. He can make something happen.
He's still got that presence, hasn't he, Ribery? Here comes Petagna. He's done rather well. Insigne. Lozano just holding off at the moment. Beside. Now it's with Lozano, faced by Igor. Play by the Mexican international. Igor sticking to him, and a pair of them not surprisingly ending up on the ground, or Lozano certainly.
Igor's strong, isn't he? But Lozano very tricky and fast as well. What Chucky Lozano does really well, when he does turn, he puts his body across Igor. There was go straight over the top of him.
Yeah, he worked himself into getting a free kick there very well, didn't he, Lozano? Piotr Zielinski is the player with the ball at his feet here. Not a bad spot at all from Napoli's point of view. Comes a comfortable header clear for Milenkovic. Optimistic and over the top from outside his side.
No trouble whatsoever for Drongowski. This Napoli performance as well is kind of similar to their season, isn't it? In that it's looked quite promising in parts, yet other times Fiorentina have come right back in it and caused them 1 or 2 problems. So there's no doubt the away side are well in this game now.
Yeah, they've had a very mixed bag at home, haven't they, Napoli, which reflects their season. Maybe we'll get onto that in just a moment as the ball goes out of play. Ribery trying to force the issue once more. They've been beaten at home 3 times in the league. They've lost to Sassuolo, to Milan and to Spezia. Spezia was the last game at home in the league. But they've had some really big home wins. They thumped Genoa 6-0, 4-1 against Atalanta, 4-0 against Roma. It's been one thing or the other, and not much middle ground at home for Napoli.
Yes, consistency, unfortunately, has been very difficult to come by for this side.
Bakayoko losing the ball. Pizzella into Amrabat, international from Morocco. Milenkovic. Well, Fiorentina have certainly settled into having a much better share of the game after a shaky and uninspiring start to this first half.
Yes, the start was too passive. Napoli got their goal. Looked dangerous in parts, but now they're warming up. They are the away side.
Last 10 minutes of the first period. Just slips under the boot of Zielinski. Insigne's toe reclaims possession, and now Zielinski is getting up to full speed, and Napoli are looking really threatening. It's Petagna. It's in behind, and it's a second goal, and it's scored by Diego Dema. As Napoli rapidly move from one end of the field to the other, just at a time when Fiorentina were coming more and more into the game. Diego Dema scores his 3rd goal of the season.
Excellent counter-attack goal as well. Fiorentina were committed to going forward. They left spaces, and on the counter, Napoli broke very, very quickly. Milenkovic is the one that lost possession on the halfway line, and after that, Zielinski runs, plays the ball to Petagna, who I thought was going to shoot, and so did everyone else, but he just cuts it back into a dangerous area, hoping one of his teammates are running forward from midfield, and that man was Dema, who tucks it away really well.
Well, he almost put the ball in inadvertently at the other end of the field earlier in the half. And now he has scored a second, and Petagna has set up both of them.
Good, unselfish play from the big striker.
It looks a fair old way back for Fiorentina in this game already. And Biraghi gives it away. Lozano with the interception, sending it in towards Petagna. Here's Insigne. Rui. Now Bakayoko. He's looked largely untroubled and unhurried in the middle of the pitch. This is Diego Dema sending it back to his goalkeeper, Ospina, who, to make that one really good save from Franck Ribéry, is Petagna. Koulibaly. Straight to Callejon, who picks out Ribéry. Vlahovic attempting to roll the ball back in. Looked to be a pass too many. Venuti losing out to Insigne. He's away from Amrabat. Chased by Milenkovic. He takes some catching, Insigne, when he's playing like this. And it's a lovely ball into Lozano. And it's an absolutely brilliant goal from Napoli. Created by their captain, Lorenzo Insigne, with some outstanding play and a superb run from Lozano to get on the end of it. 3-0 Napoli, and that's a 5-star goal.
Tremendous individual play from Lorenzo Insigne. Lozano's hurt himself in the process of scoring, but that man there, he has been absolutely brilliant. I take a shot of Maradona because the twisting and turning and the ability certainly is reminiscent of the great man. They couldn't get anywhere near him, Fiorentina. And what about that pass as well? The vision to put it in behind the defenders. The run from Lozano is perfect. Drongowski, as he comes out very quickly, just clatters in to Napoli's winger. But brave as you like, he tucks it away. It's a great goal.
Well, a passage of play perfectly suited to a stadium named after Maradona. Outstanding from Insigne. And what a first half from Napoli. We said a few minutes ago that a little bit concerning though, Lozano. Hopefully he's okay. We said that they have had some big home wins mixed in there this season. When they hit their stride, they really are impressive. And it's been an outstanding first half. 3 goals up with 6 minutes remaining in the opening period.
When they win the ball back, of course, in and around the halfway line, they accelerate forward. They look very good. But Fiorentina, a couple of times now, it's been their own downfall, giving the ball away in dangerous areas, and they paid the ultimate price.
Well, it won't be the half-time talk that Prandelli was hoping to make, will it, now, after this? It's the last few minutes, this match seemingly getting away from Fiorentina. Dema with the interception, Bakayoko finding Zielinski, having a little look to see where Insigne is. Just holding off a little bit now. Catching his breath after that last effort, I should think. Here he is.
And going back to the save from Spina as well, how important was that? It was 1-0 at the time, could have been back to 1-1 instead. Gave them a platform to go forward, now 3-0, it's looking rather different.
Fiorentina have had some attacking spells, haven't they? And you're right, when it was 1-0, Fiorentina were pushing to get right back into the match and had a few moments in and around the Napoli penalty area.
But at 3, it seems a high number, doesn't it, to come back from this sort of thing. Fiorentina, yes, their confidence is growing, but this will be a test.
Yeah, it's changed in the space of about 3 minutes or so, didn't it? Goals in the 36th and 38th minute of the first half. And suddenly, Fiorentina have got it all to do. Tough Sunday in the drizzle for Fiorentina so far. Gattuso playing every pass with his team down there on the touchline.
She thought that was a corner kick. Dema certainly come off the Napoli player. Castrovilli is dumbfounded, and rightly so. Nothing going Fiorentina's way.
Insigne sending it on to Petagna. It's Zielinski. Bouncing off Callejon. Here's Bakayoko. Be a free kick, but just as Castrovilli was about to surge forward. But it was not a free kick from there, so Napoli will have to bring the ball back. That was the challenge on Bakayoko initially.
Good to see Bakayoko getting some game time. And him, of course, coming to the fore at Monaco, looked a heck of a player. Didn't quite work out for him at Chelsea. At Milan, he started to resurrect his career, but now let's hope he can play here at Napoli and really show what he can do.
Yes, his career has meandered a little bit, hasn't it? From that strong upward trajectory of a few seasons ago, but he's still playing for big teams, albeit mostly on a loan basis.
Now Ribery, he is the man to go to for Fiorentina if they are or have any hope of getting back into this game.
Well, if they do, we're in for some second half, Tony, that's for sure.
I'm not so sure though, unfortunately, because I look back at that Juventus game where Fiorentina won 3-0. It was a wonderful performance, but Vlahovic scored an excellent goal initially. Then, of course, a man got sent off, Quadrado, quite early on in the game. So the pattern was certainly very different to this one. Now they're 3-0 down. And Napoli, of course, just on the counter, looks so very dangerous. What can Fiorentina answer that with? I'm not so sure.
Castrovilli. Vlahovic. Sends it spinning into touch. Well, half-time can't come soon enough for Fiorentina, I think. A chance to get get back indoors and regroup, try to come up with a plan to at least give themselves a possibility of coming back into this match. It's Petagna upended.
Well, Petella's pointing at the ball. I don't know why, because he missed it. He certainly got Petagna.
Didn't he?
He didn't.
He wasn't anywhere near the ball.
Nowhere near. I love it how defenders get up. Hey, I used to do exactly the same thing. So you touch the ball, ref. But the referee knew better.
That's a good old battle between Petzela and Petagna. It's the more old-fashioned physical variety, perhaps.
But you can see why Petagna would work quite well in this Napoli side, in that he can hold the ball up and bring others into play. We've already seen that, with the goals that Napoli have scored, so it really is quite effective.
Koulibaly, a little flick there is a lovely one from Zielinski, now collecting possession away from the first defender, and it's into the back of the net, and it's number 4, almost on the stroke of half-time. Zielinski for Napoli, what a first half they've enjoyed.
Well, they're now running right, simple as that. Zielinski finds the bottom corner, but it's another well-worked team goal from Napoli. The turn over the far side was absolutely fantastic. Teammates applauding him as well. There it is from Dema. Mario Rui plays it into him. Castrovilli tries to get back at him, but all he does is fall over, and it was always going away from Drongowski. Accuracy was unerring off the post. Not the hardest of shots, but very accurate. It's in the back of the net.
Yes, it was all about the placement, wasn't it? The shot from Zielinski. Scored a couple of goals at the start of the month in the 4-1 away win over Cagliari, and adds Napoli's 4th today in this first half.
Makes it even stranger, doesn't it, with the home games previously of Spezia. Well, they lost 2-1 to Torino.
Your old team, Torino,
Yeah.
who really are struggling.
They are struggling, and yet here Fiorentina certainly are better. They have been improving in recent weeks, but 4-0 first half, it's absolute mauling.
Yeah, as we're saying, that Napoli stuck 4 past Atalanta and Roma at home as well in the early portion of the season.
I suppose Gattuso will be wondering how can he get this sort of performance on a weekly basis.
Well, unbelievably, he didn't look happy, did he? Just
He never
after
does.
the 4th goal. Here's Ribery, and Manolas getting in there a bit too quickly.
Offside.
Koulibaly and Bakayoko. Well, 4 in a match is as many as Fiorentina have conceded in any one game on the road so far this season. They lost 4-3 away to Inter.
Castrovilli touched to have fouled Bakayoko. Bakayoko's lucky because he might have nicked the ball. Castrovilli not so lucky there. Gets twisted inside out by Zielinski.
Stuck one past his international colleague, Bartolomei Drongowski.
It's always nice when your next meet up for international duty, just to remind him of that.
Yeah, I don't think he was giving him a wave there in celebration.
No.
Well, what a great first half for Napoli, who, if results go their way, could be in the top 4 tonight. This, of course, the first of the Sunday matches. Here's Insigne. Bakayoko. Who looks in control of things, as do Napoli.
Well, he's just getting it back as well, controlling that midfield area. Here we see no Fiorentina player around him.
Well, there goes the half-time whistle, and it's a welcome sound for the players of Fiorentina, who are on the end of a first half thrashing from Napoli. It started badly for them. Lorenzo Insigne scoring for Napoli in the opening 5 minutes of the match. Diego Dema adding the second, Irving Lozano the third. Here's the fourth. It was perfectly placed beyond the reach of Fiorentina's goalkeeper by Piotr Zielinski. It's a miserable Sunday lunchtime for Franck Ribéry and his teammates at half-time. Napoli lead Fiorentina by 4-0. Well, what a first half it's been for Napoli, racing into a 4-0 lead against Fiorentina, and a blistering finish to the first half for them. Well, Napoli were onto the front foot very quickly here. Watch Insigne playing it out to Irving Lozano, rolling it in. Good play from Petagna, and then Insigne guiding the ball into the back of the net.
Really good goal from Insigne. He just strokes it calmly into the corner of the net, but Petagna, the hold-up play was excellent. Lozano on the right-hand side just puts into a dangerous area. First touch wasn't the best, but the second, Petagna just gets it out of his feet, knocks it back, and a really good finish from Lorenzo Insigne.
Yeah, great start from Napoli. Fiorentina, in terms of the general play, started slowly, but they did start to come back into it as the half wore on. Excellent play here, and Cristiano Biraghi firing in a shot, deflecting off Diego Demo, which almost spun into the back of the net. It was a lucky escape there for Napoli.
It certainly was, and Fiorentina woke up, didn't they? This is the right wing-back just getting the ball across, and Biraghi, the left wing-back, just tries to get into a dangerous area, but Koulibaly was there on the line. Not sure he was getting there, but fortunate for Napoli.
Yeah, and Fiorentina were emboldened by that and pushing forward at every available opportunity. Here's Vlahovic. Watch Ribery, the number 7. It's a beautifully struck shot and an excellent save from Ospina.
Oh, Ospina really does save Napoli here. Dema is in all sorts of trouble. When it comes back out to Ribery, he does everything right, hard and low into the corner. But Ospina with a magnificent save.
Collected here by Zielinski for Napoli, and just look at them break. So quick to do so. Petagna rolling it across, Dema stretching and poking it home, getting to the ball ahead of Castrovilli.
Wonderful counter-attacking goal. Milenkovic loses the ball to Zielinski, plays the right pass. I thought Petagna was going to shoot at goal instead. He cuts it back. He wants a teammate to run from deep to tuck it away. And that man is Dema.
Well, that was in the 36th minute, and 2 minutes later, just watch this. Unless you're a Fiorentina supporter, you just have to sit back and enjoy this wonderful passage of individual play from Lorenzo Insigne. Football at its absolute best. Superb from Napoli's captain. How about that for a pass? And Lozano with the finish.
Lozano's finish was actually very brave indeed. He injures himself in doing so, but Insigne, they can't get him. 4 red shirts, twisting and turning this way and that. Someone has to get a tackle. They can't because he's too good, and the pass is even better. Dragowski comes out, takes out Lozano, who's brave to tuck it away, but that's all made by Lorenzo Insigne.
Yeah, the sort of football that makes you smile. And Mario Rui involved in the build-up here. We're almost on half-time when Zielinski, just as Insigne had done with the first goal, finding that bottom corner, was all about the placing for the 4th goal.
Well, they're so confident now. Really good flick from Dema when it comes into Zielinski. He beats Castrovilli, and the shot wasn't full of power, but it was full of accuracy.
4-0, Napoli at half-time.
ว่ากันว่าปารีสคือที่สำหรับทุกสิ่งที่คุณได้บอกรักดื่มด่ำในศิลปะชื่นชมมรดกและเพลิดเพลินกับความอร่อยแต่มีอีกสิ่งหนึ่งในปารีสที่คุณต้องไม่พลาดสัมผัสปารีสแซงต์แชร์กแมงทั้งเบื้องหน้าเบื้องหลังค้นพบแก่นแท้ของยอดทีมแห่งปารีสได้ใน This is Paris ทาง beIN Sports
Let's get this party started. A brand new decade of supercar action begins.
การเป็นแฟนบอลทำให้ผมได้เจอกับภรรยาของผมเราชอบบาร์ซ่าทั้งคู่สุดท้ายก็เลยจะไปเดทแรกกันเราเลยชวนกันไปดูบอลแทนปี 2004 ครับตอนนั้นชอบเดโก้มากแต่เขาย้ายมาบาร์เซโลนาก็เลยเหมือนตามมาเชียร์ FC บาร์เซโลนาไปด้วยถ้าพูดถึงปรัชญาการเล่นเนี่ยยอห์นครอยฟเอาโททัลฟุตบอลเข้ามานับจากตรงนั้นเนี่ยมันกลายเป็นต้นฉบับของฟุตบอลสมัยใหม่ผมเองก็ไม่เคยคิดครับว่าความรู้เกี่ยวกับสโมสรที่ผมรักเนี่ยวันหนึ่งมันจะทำให้เรากลายเป็นที่รู้จักแล้วก็ได้โอกาสชมเกมเอลคลาสสิโกที่คัมป์นูได้เห็นเลโอเนลเมสซี่ยิงประตูมันเหนือคำบรรยายไม่สามารถอธิบายออกมาเป็นคำพูดได้มองย้อนกลับไปบาร์เซโลนาให้ทุกอย่างกับผมเลยนะทำให้ผมได้เจอคนรักของผมด้วยผมเลยอยากให้บาร์เซโลนาเนี่ยอยู่กับผมในทุกๆช่วงเวลาจากนี้แล้วก็ตลอดไป
Visca Barça! Centro lo está teniendo ahora sí, bien a suelta, Carlos Vela le puede pegar de pierna derecha, se va a abrir, se cierra, ahora sí.
Para mí Carlos Vela es un genio con su locura propia.
Carlos Vela, para mí, una palabra, humildad.
Vela with the shot!
The season he's had is record-setting. He is so amazingly gifted, but does not want to be treated that way.
Rossi to Vela. And there's Rossi again.
Es de todos sabidos que a él no le gusta el fútbol. Pero él sabe que es su modo de vivir, su modus vivendi.
Carlos Vela se convirtió en un ícono del fútbol mexicano desde la corta edad, ¿no? Al ganar el campeonato mundial por primera vez en la historia para la selección mexicana.
Carlos was identified as one of the most talented young players in the world at Under-17 World Cup.
La primera vez que escuché de Carlos, capaz que yo tenía 10 años, fue cuando él estaba en el Arsenal.
Es un jugador que hace cosas que nadie más en el terreno de juego puede hacer.
His speed in which he can dribble with the ball, is special among the greatest players to play.
Su tiro al segundo palo, el famoso. Ya ha hecho muchos goles así.
He found a great deal of success at Sociedad in Spain. He was absolutely phenomenal, and we saw a player who could be the best player in the league.
Para mí, la verdad que no lo podía creer que Carlos Vela fuera a ser nuestro primer jugador franquicia, un jugador de 29 años que fácil se pudo haber ido a cualquier otra liga.
Y él en ese momento de su carrera vio que venir aquí a Estados Unidos le iba a ser muy feliz. Había muchos aficionados que igual estaban frustrados por la decisión de Carlos.
Carlos Vela, yo creo que busca más felicidad en sus decisiones personales de él.
We think, well, if you're that gifted, you want the limelight, you want all the attention. Carlos is not like that, and I think that's the root cause of this misunderstanding where people will say, well, that means he doesn't care. That's the furthest thing from the truth.
realized what his life could look like in LA, in MLS, and so he went with that. I think you look at the season that he's having, and now you're like, okay, well, maybe Carlos is right after him. Maybe there is something to him being happy, and maybe that could also help make him a better player.
Carlos Vela es un mexicano. Para 3252 eso significa mucho.
Nos dan orgullo y pone el nombre en alto de los latinos. Y así como Carlos Vela se la parte en la cancha todos los días y es el mejor, así estamos nosotros, los que trabajamos en la construcción, en los obreros, los que trabajan en la jardinería, en las fábricas.
Si Carlos Vela llega a ser campeón de esta liga, siempre lo van a criticar y decir, es que no fue en el fútbol mexicano. Simplemente hay que disfrutarlo, amigos mexicanos, y debemos de sentirnos orgullosos de que Carlos Vela es mexicano.
Para mí, Carlos Vela representa lo que Platino puede hacer en los Estados Unidos.
Todos nos partimos el alma en este país por ser mejores y por representar a nuestra comunidad de una forma excepcional como lo hace Carlos Vela.
Time. Actually, Fiorentina looked the more...
Can't think that they're going to turn this around from 4 goals behind, but take something into the next game. Take at least a 45-minute performance, and that with the second half.
Frank Ribery is the player who is going off for Fiorentina. Thought he played pretty well during the first half.
He did, but you just wonder, because of his age, he has to be used sparingly and at the right time. And
Save him for another day.
Yeah, exactly. 4-0 down. I don't think there's any point him staying out there. Keep him for another day.
Yeah, there is only so much left in those legs, and they are saving them for the home match with Crotone next Saturday. Christian Kwame is on then for the second half, the Ivory Coast international. Had 8 minutes off the bench last week against Cagliari. Gets the whole of the second half this time. 1 goal for him so far this season. That was away from home in the 4-3 defeat to Inter. Napoli looking really good so far. Weather hasn't improved. The start of the second half. Little check there from referee Daniele Chifi. We have the right number of players on the field and we're almost ready to go. Here we go then. It's Napoli who get things up and running at the start of the second half. 4 goals up at the break. It'll be interesting to see what sort of second half we get here, Tony, whether it fizzles out and settles into something of a holding pattern, or whether Napoli try to push on, or who knows whether Fiorentina, if they were to get a quick goal, can begin to have some sort of belief that they might at least make half a game of it.
I think Gattuso will want his side to certainly keep going and control this second half. Whether they can do that or not, let's find out. Fiorentina, you just feel the longer this goes on and they don't score, then it could become very difficult for them. Maybe that will make it easier for the home side, but let's see.
Napoli still 2 goals shy of their biggest home win of the season. They put 6 past Genoa in the opening game of the campaign here.
Zielinski just offside once he receives the ball.
This is Nikola Milinkovic forward, and bounce off Amrabat there, and throw for Napoli. Well, perfect preparation so far for the Supercoppa coming up during the week.
Yes, that is an important one for Napoli against Juventus. Mertens, of course, is back on the bench. Wouldn't be a surprise to see him get a good few minutes in the second half at some point, just to get him back on the pitch.
Castrovilli tried to win himself a free kick there. Referee well placed, says no, given away by Zielinski. This is a first touch for the substitute, Kwame. Racing forward, Vlahovic being urged forward by Biraghi, who collects up the loose ball. Here's Vlahovic now with a turn. Bakayoko was waiting for him.
Good play, isn't it? Defensive midfielder just coming back to help out his centre half. Vlahovic made a good turn. He just ran straight into Bakayoko.
Lozano bravely scored the third there, colliding with the goalkeeper in the process, but thankfully not picking up an injury that lasted more than a couple of minutes. Amrabat and Petagna tangling.
Petagna just got taken out, and then I think trod on.
Had a good first half, Petagna, not among the goal scorers, but set up 2 of the goals.
Well, he's got 4 goals so far. Of course, strikers love to score, but he was integral in a couple of those, and his teammates will be delighted when he plays. It does seem to bring others into play as well, and with the speed that they've got, Napoli, whether it's out wide or from midfield, I think he's a really good foil.
Biraghi. Fiorentina on 18 points, so 12th at the start of the weekend, down into 13th at the moment. 5 points clear of the bottom 3. So, towards an 8th defeat of the season at the moment. It's with Amrabat. Biraghi. This is Castrovilli. Looking up and hurtling into the penalty area to no avail. And Diego Dema brings the ball away, playing today in the absence of Fabian Ruiz, who's self-isolating after testing positive for coronavirus yesterday. Insigne. And back with Koulibaly. Way towards the busy figure of Lozano. Sofyan Amrabat. Gaetano Castrovilli. Christian Kwame. Dospina is reaching up. Challenge to pluck the ball from the air.
Calm as you like. Kwame does really well to get to the byline. He just clip it to that far post. Very comfortable.
Well, the alarm bells will be ringing for Fiorentina once again. Here's Insigne running into the penalty area and carrying the wrath of the referee there, who is booking him for simulation. Insigne's going, yeah, okay, well, you have a look at that again later. He's got a yellow card when he was rather hoping for something more.
Well, initially I did think it was a penalty. And Milinkovic does flick a leg out. much of Insigne does he catch?
Ah, he flicks his leg out and then withdraws it, doesn't he? Watch this.
He does. But does he touch him?
Just
right
catches his knee.
Yeah.
Catches his right knee.
And that's difficult. At pace, it is very hard to tell. I think there's no doubt that he does get a touch. Defender on Insigne, and down he goes, and it should be a penalty, but clearly not.
Tuzo there on the touchline, patrolling. He's almost on the pitch. No change there. Mario Rui conceding the free kick. Back now with Petzela, and now Igor away to the far side, and Biragi looking for Castrovilli. Like you say, Tony, all Fiorentina can do is to try in their own way to get the better of the second half, to win the second half and limit the damage. It's away by Manolas.
Yes, it shows some mental strength.
Yeah.
And that is important. Got to keep the belief sinking out there in the second half as well, and let in 2 or 3. Walk away here with 6-7-0. That's a hammer blow. But if you can just come out of it with some sort of performance in this second half, that is important.
It's just been a long and frustrating few days for them, hasn't it? That Coppa Italia tie against Inter went long. They lost it in the last couple of minutes of extra time. But they're on the attack here, and Kwame going for it in the air. Petzela back out, and Callejon waiting. Insigne getting in there first, conceding the throw. Kwame and Amrabat. I was rather hoping that Petzela was going to come out more quickly than he did. Igor's done well here. Now it's with Castrovilli. Cristiano Biragi available on the far side. Kwame in the centre. Callejon's in there as well. So was Koulibaly to head the ball away. Amrabat with the pass. Venuti now. Floats it to nobody at all. And it fizzles out for Fiorentina.
Venuti hasn't had too much to do. Been a little disappointing in the first half. Got one cross in that was decent there. He had the opportunity to get another in, but it was poor. However, first 8 minutes, Fiorentina have been on the front foot. Kwame's been involved, and they're not feeling sorry for themselves. At least they're going out there and giving it a go.
Petzela winning the ball back initially there. Here's Kwame, who's seen quite a lot of the ball in the few minutes that he's been on the pitch. He's given their attack a little added vim and vigour.
He's got pace, certainly ability. What I've seen of him previous is that sometimes he can be a world beater and then he might disappear for a number of games, and that's been his issue. But in this sort of situation, yeah, he certainly can cause enough of some problems.
Callejon into Kwame. Vlahovic makes the run ahead. It's an important interception made by Kostas Manolas. Back with Fiorentina once more. That's nicely done. Vlahovic into the centre. Koulibaly hooks it away, and the clearance completed by Lozano. But that's much better from Fiorentina.
It really is good. I'm impressed because they've come back strongly in this second half. Vlahovic, good effort, but Koulibaly saves his side from conceding.
Yeah, great credit to Fiorentina for the way they've approached this second period. Petzela away to the far side. Biragi. Now Castrovilli. Biragi continues his run into the penalty area. And Manolas able to get his head on the ball, and Diego Dema finds Lozano, who will settle for the throw.
Yeah, it's Napoli that can't get out. It's a strange game, isn't it? I mean, they're 4-0 up and absolutely cruising in the first half, and now they can't seem to get the ball out of the back third. Koulibaly and Manolas are having a bit of a conversation together as well. Good timing of the ball and run, but Koulibaly does well to get back and hook it clear.
Well, we said the complexion of the game completely changed in the 36th and 38th minutes of the match, with 2 goals for Napoli, 2 really good goals at a time when Fiorentina were playing pretty well. And in it comes, and Ospina is there to get across to that one from Lorenzo Venuti.
Decent ball in, a little bit too close to the keeper. Needed a bit of bend on that one to make it certainly come away from the keeper, but a lot better, no doubt.
Fiorentina hitting the bar in the first half via the deflection of Demmer and also bringing a good save from Ospina. We're still at 1-0. Here's Insigne. Given away by Milenkovic, but the flag up on the far side.
Insigne accidentally just kicks it there. They're going to come inside, didn't mean to pass it, but Milenkovic then got the ball. I suppose he was still the other side of the defender. That's a strange one.
Amrabat. Callejon. Very different to last season when on this very weekend a year ago Fiorentina were 2-0 winners. Of 3 wins they've had in Naples in the last decade in Serie A. Yeah, compared to most teams, their record in this venue is not too bad at all in recent times. Roman Petzela into Callejon, running by Dusan Vlahovic. Matching him stride for stride was Koulibaly.
Good run from Vlahovic. His earlier effort just needed a bit more power to that shot, but had to get it up and over, and of course underneath the bar allowed Koulibaly to get back.
Little too high for Petagna, and Lozano was rather barged out of the way by Igor there.
He's felt Igor's challenges a couple of times, hasn't he, this afternoon? Igor just straight through the back of him.
He sort of bulldozed him out of the way, didn't he, there?
Agricultural challenge.
I wonder whether that's the same area of his leg that he hurt when he scored the third goal there, just that right knee
I think so, but he's smiling, so that's a good sign. So he should.
Well, I was going to say, he would if he'd scored, you would win him 4-0. It's been a good day at the office for those in blue at the moment. Napoli set fair for a 5th home win of the season. Igor, of whom we were just speaking, the 22-year-old Brazilian, he's on an 18-month loan from Spal. And Venuti had ventured forward, but Ospina quickly off his line.
Well, Venuti's been in and out the side, hasn't offered too much today either. Sometimes when they go slightly more defensive, Cáceres comes in on this right wing-back position. He's on the bench, so it could be an option.
Yeah, Cáceres played last week, didn't he, against Cagliari in the 1-0 home win, but one of the 3 changes made by Prandelli today. Just over half an hour remaining. Milenkovic with the header down. Castrovilli collects, looking for Biraghi, merely finding Hasai, who tidies up well. Bakayoko, Koulibaly. Calm and confident manoeuvring of the ball here by Napoli's players. Hopefully flow to some of their football. Zielinski just beaten to it by Roman Petzela. That's Vlahovic. He was looking for Castrovilli. Gattuso is going to make a change shortly for Napoli. Looks like Politano is going to come on. Half an hour remaining. No change to the half-time scoreline.
No, Napoli going forward haven't really bothered Drongowski at all. That has been the away side, at least responding to the scoreline, which is good to see.
Zielinski to return it to her side. Late first half burst. 3 goals in the last 10 minutes of the first half for Napoli. Commanding lead here.
Very close, wasn't it? Nonetheless, looking across, gets his hand in the air.
And having Lozano is going to make way, and Matteo Politano will come on to replace him. Politano, who scored 3 goals this season in the league in wins over Genoa, Atalanta and Roma. And Lozano has more than played his part in this match. There's Dries Mertens, by the way, limbering up, and I think we'll probably see him before too long, do you not think?
Yes, we certainly will, but Lozano, I thought, has played excellent. Really was a danger every time he got the ball. Scored an excellent goal, set one up as well, so impressive.
Politano's about a 50-50 split between starting and coming off the bench, more or less. One match he hasn't appeared in, that was last weekend. Here's Insigne. Mario Rui sending it across, Drongowski staying on his line. Politano loitering beyond the far post, but Biraghi able to bring the ball away. Kwame does his best to win a throw and succeeds. Amrabat. Igor away to Biraghi. Castrovilli. Vlahovic wants it in the centre. It's into Kwame, who turns and finds that Koulibaly is right there, just inches away. Play by Petagna, and then Amrabat is a little too over-enthusiastic there against Diego Dema.
Amrabat just bring the ball back again. Too physical, but Koulibaly positioning was excellent, wasn't it? Closes Fiorentina down when they hit it around the box.
All smiles there between Mertens and Lozano.
It's fair to say, if you're watching Gattuso on the touchline, you would never know what the score is.
No, you'd think they were losing
all the time.
Koulibaly. That would be an interesting game to play, wouldn't it? Just see shots of Gattuso, guess the scoreline. Straight out off Diego Dema, German midfielder. He's been at the club for a year now, arrived from RB Leipzig in January of 2020. Among the goal scorers this afternoon, Sofyan Amrabat, again looking to set Fiorentina into forward motion as Venuti floats it in. Kwame's there, Vlahovic tussling with Koulibaly. There's a real composure under pressure from Napoli. Bakayoko gets the free kick, but he rode a couple of challenges well there.
He did. They took a little bit of a risk, but really good play there from Bakayoko. Kwame, that was a foul. Challenging from behind, doesn't get the ball.
Prandelli trying to G his team up from the technical area. Igor strong once again, this time against Politano. And Koulibaly with a cruncher on Vlahovic.
Certainly a genuine attempt to go for the ball, but Vlahovic just got his foot there first, and over he goes. You think Igor at one end, certainly muscular defender. Matched by Koulibaly at the other.
Koulibaly played in midweek. Coppa Italia. Missed 3 matches recently with a thigh injury. 25 minutes to go. In from Callejon, it was a horrible scudding ball actually for a player who's capable of so much more. Petagna back into El Hissai and Manolas. Petagna does put a shift in, doesn't he, for his team? He doesn't just stand there waiting for an opportunity.
No, he works. Of course, set pieces, he's integral in both boxes as well. Socked down on one side, not sure they've still got a slight injury. Obvious change would be, of course, Mertens for Petagna. Let's see how long before that happens.
Spina's ball away. Back with Callejon now. Into Kwame. Really good challenge by Manolas. Flag has gone up anyway, but that was a sturdy piece of defending.
Well, it was offside. And of course, as a defender, you have to keep going just in case. And it's tight, it's close, but it is offside. But that is a cruncher from Manolas. Gets down, ball never going to get past.
I think the Fiorentina hierarchy there just can't wait to get on the train home. Put this one to bed and get ready for Crotone. Be looking for the 3 points next weekend against the side currently bringing up the rear.
Yes, I think if you look at this game on paper, they can get too much from it. If they get something, then great. But Crotone, that is the one that's a big game for them, just to keep them further away from the relegation spots.
Insigne. It's a long chase for Demo. It's quite a second half for Drongowski so far. Won't be if he gives the ball away though, like that. And now Diego Demo has it. Here's Insigne. Bakayoko. Slight miscontrol and then compounds it by conceding the free kick. 3/4 of the way through the match.
Kwame's made a difference, hasn't he, since he's come on? I think he's been good. Certainly defensive, getting back and winning the ball as he did there, and then going forward. That was accidental. Castro really gets a knock on the back of the head, but
sums his afternoon up, doesn't it, really?
Just not happening, unfortunately.
Amrabat. Steady drizzle still falling. Callejon. Petzela away to Igor. Nikola Milenkovic. Here now is Venuti. Callejon. Sort of delivery what we get here takes a little deflection. Headed away by Manolas, who got there ahead of Vlahovic. He looked pumped up there as well, Manolas, didn't he?
That's a hell of a scream. I don't mind that from defenders, just wanting to win the ball. He certainly did. It was his all the way.
Ospina made it look so easy and comfortable. Well, Napoli have been outstanding on the break in this match today. Are they going to add to their collection? Insigne on the near side. Been waiting patiently and goes for the curler. We've seen that so many times in the past. Beaten away by Drongowski this time. And Bakayoko's challenge, that will be a penalty conceded by Castrovilli. What a daft place to concede a penalty kick.
Silly challenge, wasn't it? Needless, absolutely needless. Fiorentina done themselves proud in this second half. They pushed forward. Of course, they got done on the counter. And you're right, we've seen this time and time again. Drongowski read that one. Good save, but after that, look where he's going. Absolutely nowhere. Bakayoko is heading towards the corner flag. Don't even make an attempt. Castrovilli's frustrating day continues. Bakayoko, yeah, thanks him. That's just what you need.
What a daft penalty to give away there. Well, Lorenzo Insigne, who scored the first goal for Napoli, was a major player in the build-up for the third, has the chance to score their fifth here, and his second. He scored 2 against them in Florence last season, and he scored 2 at home this time in the 9 games well underway here from Bartolomei Drongowski. He needs to get back on his line and stay there. It's Insigne now for Napoli. And it's 5. Just.
He squeezed that one in, didn't he? Drongowski did really well because he waited and waited, and that little jump by Insigne just before he's about to take it normally gets the keeper going one way or the other, but Drongowski guessed the right way, but the touch wasn't enough. You see the silly challenge, just wrong foot as well from Castrovilli, going with his right. Just gets a fingertip to it as well. He'll be disappointed because any keeper that does get something on it, you want to try and keep it out, but Insigne just evades the keeper's arm.
So change coming up now for Fiorentina. Giacomo Bonaventura is going to come on. And he's not the only one by the looks of it as well. Eric Pulgar is going to come on. There's Dries Mertens for Napoli. A flurry of activity down there. Fourth official will be doing overtime with that electronic board at the moment. Mertens on for Patania, as you were suggesting, Tony.
Yes, not a surprise. The big man looked like he's taken a knock and doesn't look good at all, but Mertens just gets some minutes in the leg is really important.
Zielinski is going to come off, and it looks like Elmas is going to come on to replace him. Castrovilli's miserable afternoon has just come to a conclusion. Changes left, right and centre here. I think it was Elif Elmas who was coming on for Napoli. Pulgar is on. And Venuti back onto the field. Bonaventura on for Callejon. Not a happy return to Naples for Callejon today. First time back since his move after 7 seasons with the Partenipe.
Yes, 5-0. Ouch. That's going to be a hard one to take, but certainly second half, Fiorentina have upped their game. They've responded to a miserable first half, but that challenge was so silly from Castrovilli and really taken all the good work they've done in those minutes right out of it.
Hooked away by Mertens, getting involved in the play straight away, deep inside his own half. Take the kick, I think. Koulibaly just in discussion with Manolas. A little over 15 minutes remaining. Insigne. Demmer gets the throw off Venuti. Napoli with 5 goals today, one shy of their most convincing home win of the season, which was a 6-0 win against the Genoa right at the start of the campaign. But it's the 4th time in the league already this season they've scored at least 4 goals in a home match.
Takes up to 39 goals as well scored, only behind Inter and Atalanta, so certainly free-flowing with the goals at one end at least.
Manolas back to his goalkeeper. Here's Politano. Being tracked by Igor, is prepared to follow him almost to the other end of the pitch. Header won by Petzela. Confirmation that Elmas was on for Zielinski a couple of minutes ago. Igor. Fiorentina's heaviest defeat of the season. Previously conceded 4 and a 4-3 loss at Inter. Venuti. And Amrabat had made the run and a little deflection, carrying it over the touchline. For a Fiorentina throw. Milenkovic back into Petzela. Captain from Argentina. Here's Insigne getting the better of Amrabat. Trying to reclaim the ball momentarily there. It was Pulgar. Back with Milenkovic. Fiorentina just desperate not to incur further damage between now and the end of the match. Kwame able to control the ball and find a teammate with the return pass. Manolas gets it away. Amrabat finding Venuti. Vlahovic is nearby. Venuti's delivery again straight into the gloves of Ospina.
It's unfortunate, decent ball in, but again Ospina quickly off his line. He's put up a couple of very important saves.
Good to see Mertens back, isn't it? They'll need him.
Yes, absolutely. He's an absolute goal machine. 6 assists this season, but he's been out the last 4 or 5 games, so it is important to have him back.
Yeah, quite right. Last 5 league matches he's been absent. On the bench as an unused substitute during the week. Milenkovic cutting across in front of Elmas. Whistle had gone.
Elmas didn't have the pace to get away from Milenkovic. Poor touch from Elmas. Everyone thought the ball was going out initially, but Napoli man kept it in.
More changes. Romani and Cioffi are on. Insigne. Another memorable afternoon from Lorenzo Insigne. That build up to the 3rd goal, Tony, will stay with us, won't it, after today?
Oh, you're absolutely right. It's absolutely tremendous. Seeing so many players around him. Little man twists one way and the other. They couldn't get near him. They wanted to go closer. Made to look a fool of. But once he's done all that, you think, right, can you find that final pass? Well, what a ball it was as well. Yeah, tremendous play.
Romani on. Costas Manolas going off. Raft of substitutes late in the match, but of course the game long gone, indeed, as it had shortly before the half-time interval from Fiorentina's point of view. Have at least for the most part given a decent account of themselves in the 2nd period.
They've been better, but I think you have to look at the opposition as well in that they've throttled back. Yeah, they just tried to control it, and they had to improve. They did, but silly mistake certainly from Castrovilli. It's been taken off as well. 5-0. It's not a good afternoon.
Koulibaly sends it forward. Antonio Cioffi, by the way, I should mention him, the number 58. Here's Cioffi. This is his first touch in Serie A. This is his debut off the bench. Involved in the thick of the action, and not quite the conclusion to the move that he and his teammates were hoping for from Matteo Politano. But yeah, Antonio Cioffi, an 18-year-old winger who's come through the youth system, has been on the bench 4 times before today and now gets his chance. And the perfect such occasion with your team 5-0 up with 10 minutes to go.
Dream debut, isn't it? Yeah. The other team are certainly mentally gone. You're out there on top, playing with the first team, the big boys. You get your opportunity, great to see.
queried by Bonaventura. Lovely free kick. Last 10 minutes. Interception made by Koulibaly, just gets away from Bakayoko for a moment. Keeps the ball clear of Eric Pulgar. Now with Bonaventura, looking for Christian Kwame. Aside, reclaiming it for the home team. Bakayoko holds off the close attentions of Pulgar, who's really putting himself around, having just come off the bench.
He almost dispossessed Bakayoko right on the edge of the box.
Free kick. Untidy challenge from Dusan Vlahovic. The anguished cry of Diego Demmer as he went down onto the turf. Manolas, who missed the cup game during the week, fit enough to start today. He's back as ever. A really good week for Napoli. 3 wins, with victory at Udinese last weekend and the progression into the quarter-finals of the Coppa Italia during the week. This perfect preparation for the Supercoppa against Juventus coming up this Wednesday. Dragowski now for Fiorentina. That's Amrabat underneath it. Bakayoko tussling. Kwame wins it. Venuti can't get past Koulibaly. Cioffi under pressure. Getting stuck in with Demmer. It's going to be a 6 defeat from 9 matches on the road for Fiorentina. And convincingly so. Venuti tries to force a way through and then to win a free kick, and Vlahovic almost finds an opening. It's dug out by his side.
Vlahovic has had precious little service today, but every time he has got the ball, it's looked dangerous. Still young, of course, himself. Is he 2021? So I think he'll be important for Fiorentina going forward. He's put in a good shift.
Yeah, Vlahovic, just 20 years of age. And it comes from Cristiano Biraghi, of Spina getting his right hand to it. Venuti looking to send it forward via Igor, headed away by Romani for the home side. Just off the bench for Manolas. Here's Vlahovic once more.
Just expected him to hit the target, make the spinner do a little bit of work. One touch, he's got half a yard. The idea was right, execution not.
I think Bonaventura was rather hoping for a pass there, judging by the look on his face. Sofian Amrabat comes to the near side. Lucas Martinez-Quarta, I think, is the man to replace him. Others, Borja Valero, who's on as well. Borja Valero and Lucas Martinez-Quarta, Milenkovic and Amrabat, the 2 players going off. Borja Valero back with Fiorentina this season after 3 years at Inter. Well, it is like watching a different game, isn't it, now in the closing stages? Because it feels like most of the players are different to the ones who were on the pitch at the start of the game.
Plenty of changes, absolutely.
It's like 2 matches for the price of 1 here. Not going to change anything for Fiorentina, though, today, sadly for them.
They've lost both, I think. That's the problem.
Yeah, this game done and dusted by the break. And any even vague chance of a comeback for Fiorentina, I think the tin hat was put on that by that goal from Zielinski, wasn't it, on the stroke of half-time?
Yeah, you look back at the 2 quick goals, that really was a hammer blow, but Zielinski scoring that one 4-0, that's just the end of the game.
Might get even worse here if they're not careful. Cioffi's happy to lead it with Mario Rui. Back with Antonio Cioffi. Elifelmas. Napoli find a 6th goal from somewhere. Mario Rui's delivery. Well, Matteo Politano went for the spectacular. He's denied the opportunity to let fly. Here's Biraghi. Dugar. Well, it was high, long and hopeful.
Just looking at Dries Mertens as well running around. I'm not sure he's 100% fit. Favouring his slightly, a slight concern.
Keep an eye on that. The number 14 there for Napoli. Hasn't had much chance to get involved in the game yet in the time that he's been on the pitch. Good for him to get a few minutes back out there. And there's plenty to look forward to between now and the rest of the season, for the end of the season rather, for Napoli, with the continued involvement in the Coppa Italia, the quarterfinals coming up in the not too distant future. They've got the Europa League resuming. They're playing Granada 2 legs in the first of the knockout rounds next month. Pushing up in and around the top 4 in the league as well. Started the day 9 points behind the leaders Milan.
Yes, they've still got a game to go, haven't they, as well? Some of the teams, so things are looking okay for Gattuso's men.
Away by Mario Rui. Doesn't quite reach Elvis. Can't keep hold of the ball for Fiorentina. Cioffi away from Borja Valero. Diego Dema keeps Ospina involved. Little flick from Bakayoko.
Not quite sure Ospina wanted to be involved there, but okay. Keeps it awake.
Last couple of minutes now. And Napoli on the attack once more. Threatening a 6th and finding a 6th through Matteo Napolitano. And they've equalled their biggest home win of the season with that 6th goal. And Politano, off the bench, finds the back of the net late in the day.
Well, I think he's happy, but I'm not sure. But it's an excellent goal, it really is, from Politano. Very much left-footed. When he does get it on the right, always wants to chop inside onto that left, but he just kept going and going and going. Fiorentina did not have an answer. Look how far out he picks the ball up. Igor has to go with the runner. Petzela gets beaten, so does Valero. And after that, just like Zielinski's shot, not full of power, but just so accurate. This time, Drongowski dies, doesn't get anywhere near it, and it's a really good finish.
That's a great goal from Politano, and it is an absolute thrashing, isn't it? 6-0. And here come Napoli again. That was Mertens chasing after it, beaten to the ball. Kwame finding Bonaventura. And Cristiano Biraghi whipping it in towards Dusan Vlahovic. Koulibaly's never more than half a step away from him.
It's like glue, isn't he, to him? It's just very difficult to get away.
Frustrating day for Vlahovic.
Well, he's done well, Vlahovic. I think he's a heck of a young player. A lot of course, responsibility on his shoulders, being the main man for Fiorentina up top. But I think he's responded really well.
And there goes the final whistle, blown by Daniele Chifi, and a sobering 6-0 thrashing for Cesare Prandelli's side. But Napoli scored some outstanding goals amid the half dozen that they did find the back of the net with, and the full-time score in Naples, 6-0. Napoli have beaten Fiorentina. Well, these are the highlights of the match, and the first of them for Napoli came very early in the game, in the 5th minute. This is Irving Lozano. Watch Patania as he just lays the ball back, and then Lorenzo Insigne into the far corner of the net. Perfect start for Napoli.
A really good goal. They moved the ball so well. Lozano, when he does put the ball into the box, it's Patania. His first touch, I thought, was a difficult one, but his second was perfect. He lays it into the path of Insigne, who just strokes it home with confidence.
Yeah, superb start for Napoli. But as the first half wore on, Fiorentina certainly had their moments, and here is the first of them. Venuti on the far side sends it across. Biraghi with a shot spinning up into the air off Diego Dema, and back into play off the crossbar.
Well, they responded really well from going a goal down. This time on the right-hand side, when it comes across, Biraghi's shot is pretty awful, but Dema is delighted to see the crossbar come to his rescue.
And there was a flurry of activity near the Napoli goal, which continued here as Ribery gets the better of Dema. Vlahovic sees his shot blocked. Ribery gets his away, and it's a superb stop from Ospina.
Well, it's hard and low. How Ospina stops this, I don't know. Dema with some awful play. The ricochet comes to Ribery, who does everything right, but that save was brilliant.
But then in the 36th minute, this is when the game started to break open. Ball loose in midfield. Zielinski, look at the space he had to run into here. Napoli so dangerous on the break. It's Patania once more heavily involved, and then stretching to reach the ball. Diego Dema, 2-0 Napoli.
Really good run from Dema, but Fiorentina gave the ball away themselves initially. Patania thought he was going to shoot, but cuts it back for an on-running midfielder. That man's Dema, who finishes it really well. Outstretched, right boots, good goal.
And Lorenzo Insigne with a truly wonderful and outstanding passage of play here, having won the ball back just inside his own half. Led half of Fiorentina's team a merry dance before picking a superb pass to Irving Lozano with a brave finish.
It's a great piece of individual skill from Lorenzo Insigne. Brave as you like from Lozano, who gets injured in tucking it away. But look how many players are around him. He twists one way and the other. They don't want to go too close to him because he's going to skip past them. But the ball at the end of it is simply brilliant and a good finish.
And then almost on the stroke of half-time, it got even worse for Fiorentina. Zielinski away from Castrovilli, and then out of reach for the diving Drongowski.
Well, the keeper had no chance because the accuracy of this shot was unerring into the bottom corner. Good play from Dema. Mario Rui then feeds Zielinski. Castrovilli gets twisted one way and the other. It opens up. Drongowski dives the right way, but cannot just get those extra few inches. It's in the bottom corner. That's 4.
Well, almost impossible for Fiorentina to come back from that, but they certainly produced a spirited effort early in the second half. Came close to getting a goal here. Dusan Vlahovic, just not quite enough pace on it to get there before.